Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. If you're looking for jewelry that makes an impact on your self-care routine and your style, Empowerography would love to offer you a discount code to one of our exclusive partners, Quartz and Canary Jewelry and Wellness Company. Please use code EMPOWER15 to receive 15% off upon checkout at www.quartzandcanary.com. Quartz and Canary is truly the place where spirituality meets style. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest is Suzy Tamasy. She is the founder and owner of SuzyQJewels, based right here in Toronto. How are you doing today, Suzy?
Wonderful. How are you, Brad?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and be a guest on the podcast and share a bit about your story and journey with us here today. And thank you for being a part of the Empowerography community. I appreciate you taking the time.
I'm so delighted to be part of your empowerment. It's very rare to see a male figure that really empowers women, which is really, I love that about you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So, Suzy, you're a serial entrepreneur. You're an award-winning mentor in finance, a leader in entrepreneurship advocacy. As I mentioned, you're the founder of and owner of SuzyQJewels, Frugal Divas, a couple of magazines. You're an event producer. You are one busy lady. Where do you find the time to fit all this stuff in and have a life?
I know. Everyone asks me that. I'm based like I'm a superwoman, you would say. I think most women are. Yes. We have multiple hats, right? So we juggle it through. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, did you get your start in finance? Tell us a bit about this award-winning mentor in finance part of your life. What's that all about?
It's so funny, Brad. I started as a laboratory technologist, and I worked in a lab for 5 years.
Okay.
And then they were doing the SARS. And my mom kept on telling me, you have to get out of the science industry. You got to get out of that. So I started applying at financial institutions, and I got a job there, and I stayed there for 25 years. So I did my career through Ryerson.
Yeah.
And my real goal was to help women save money, be frugal, because I was a single mom. I knew what that meant.
Right.
And try to have goals to have a house of your own and stop paying rent, right?
Right.
So it was really a matter of that mentor that I wanted to help other women with entrepreneurship and knowing how to build their finances.
Okay. All right. So when and where did your love for fashion come from and begin?
As a little kid, I would say, I used to use my family wasn't a very wealthy family, so I used to have my Barbie dolls, and I wanted to make dresses for them, so I would use beddings and curtains. But when I was in finance, a lot of people would come, like coworkers would come and see what I was wearing, because I dealt with lots of clients. And then it juggled to me that I also had this passion for fashion, and I was very unique and knew how to mix and match for my closet.
Right.
And I also had a bad thing. I had a stress habit too, because when you're in finance, it's really stressful on that career choice. So I would go shopping afterwards. I had a stressful day, and I would have things in my closet, and I said, okay, there has to be so many other women that do the same. So that's how I started with the fashion. First, I started with jewelry. I designed broken jewelry, and that's where SuzyQJewels came into play.
I was going to ask
my
about
dad
that.
Used to
that
call
was my
me,
next question.
Yeah, so my dad used to call me Suzy Q, and then I did the jewelry part, and it went fabulous. Everyone was buying my jewelry at work and trade shows and so on. But then everyone was doing jewelry, so I had to come back to the drawing board again.
Right.
And find a way that I can be different And I knew I wanted to do something that I can give back and change something, or do something with value with my work. And that's where we came up with SuzyQJewels, which we empower women with fashion.
All right.
And we give back to the women's shelters at the same time.
Awesome. So can you tell us a bit more about SuzyQJewels and what the services are you provide?
Yes, I would love to. So SuzyQJewels I have a fashion clothing line that generates 20% to the women's shelters that we have affiliated with us.
That's amazing.
So we have 8 shelters throughout different regions.
Okay.
We also do fashion shows at charity events and fundraising events. So if they wanted to use my fashion shows for them to raise money, we would go in with our models and raise money for the cause of our women's shelters that we have. And then on top of that, I'm a fashion stylist. So a lot of photo shoots, I provide the clothing from our fashion line.
Right.
And then I can style the models, or they can rent even gowns now, because that was our newest thing this year, is to rent gowns, because of our economy right now isn't feasible for everyone to buy gowns for costly prices.
Yeah.
And therefore that would help the models at the same time and looking fabulous for their photo shoots, and they didn't have to spend a big quantity of money and save at the same time. Yeah.
Very cool.
So we have that. We also have the personal shopping part that I take clients to build their wardrobe and dress for their body types, because my empowerment figure of my company is to deal with everyone of all sizes and all body shapes.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay. I forgot to mention, we also do Glam It Up parties, in which we bring a team, which is my clothing line and a makeup artist and a photographer, and we dress you up for the day. A lot of girls like to do that as a girls' night out, and then we get the photographers to take pictures of them. So it's a great win-win.
That is, for sure. Now, how long has SuzyQJewels been in business?
It's been 14 years now.
Wow.
We're still going strong. Yes.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yes. And the reason I kept SuzyQJewels as the name is because when I started the jewelry line, but then at the end of the day, I was doing our magazine, Empowered in Heels. Yeah. I started to write my history of what I do, and then it just puzzled in together to say that, okay, Suzy Q and the jewels part are the people that I get to engage with and touch lives. And a lot of them I've changed lives with, because they've either been in trauma through abuse, or our models are not just model figures. Some of them also have had past trauma in which we kind of mold them to love themselves and gain that confidence and empower themselves with fashion.
Awesome. So you're a big proponent of volunteer and giving back and helping out in the community. Where does that love for volunteering, giving back to the community come from?
Well, actually, it was when I was looking back at my our starting point of the fashion. I kind of had a moment with God, and I told him, please, God, give me something that I want to do and I'm really passionate about. And he gave me a flashback as a child. My father was an amazing man, but when he drank, he was a different person for sure. And he was an alcoholic, and he would get abusive. So therefore, that's when I saw things that a little kid wouldn't see. Right. And then that was my flashing point of me, my sister, and my mom going to a shelter and just starting there and not knowing. It was like our peaceful place to be. Out of our home. So that's where the community involvement for the shelters came in place.
I love it. I think that's incredible that you, through your businesses, give back to the community and help others, and how you're tied in with the women's shelters. I think that's absolutely amazing.
I think it's more rewarding if you do something like that for your business and for yourself. Yeah. And if you can make a difference in someone's life, it doesn't take 2 seconds to do something good.
Absolutely. So you're a clothing designer then too, right? Because you have your fashion line, you have your clothing line, correct?
Yes. I have some designs I do design by me, by SuzyQJewels. So you'll see designed by SuzyQJewels SuzyQJewels, I do help a lot of new designers that are out there so that they can use my platform so that they can jumpstart their designing pieces. So that's where we have the other clothing brands with us affiliated.
Right.
So it's like a mentorship with them.
Okay. Did you study fashion design?
I did kind of online, but I didn't really get too intense. My parents were not a big advocate of a designer. They always wanted me to do something, proficient
Finance
and have a title.
Yeah.
So they knew that. Yeah, they always said, designing is not going to bring you money, but it was always my passion, and I love it today, honestly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go back. Yeah.
What is it about fashion that inspires and excites you so much?
It's the creativity and designing something different to the person that you're working with. So if you have a vision and you bring it to life, it's just that impact and statement, and it's that joy that brings me with my passion to do it.
Right. Now, you're also the founder of Frugal Divas. Can you tell us a bit about what that company's all about and what your mission is with them? Yes,
Frugal Divas was actually originated before the SuzyQJewels line.
Oh, okay.
So it was more of the finance part of it, in which we had a group that we got together every week or so, and we would come back with frugal ideas to save on businesses or home decor, anything that we can save money as a single mom that was crucial for us to survive. So if it was some coupons or some sales that were going on, or ways to get photocopies less from the normal range of staples, then they would suggest. We would just get together and brainstorm on ideas and share them.
Okay. Now, you also founded and run a couple of magazines as well. What are the names of the magazines, and what's the focus and theme to each one of these magazines?
So Empowered in Heels was the first magazine I did, and that was, and it's still on. Yeah. It's one of our magazines that we donate to the shelters that we deal with, and it's just to inspire women as a tunnel of light of real stories of other women that have gone through trauma, either abuse, grief, or losing it all, and gaining that power back in having it all back. Okay. So it was a really inspiring magazine, and it has amazing women in there that have shared their true stories. And actually my story's in there, and that's when I put the two and two together as to what I'm doing today and how it all connected, because it didn't connect until when I did that magazine.
Right.
The other magazine is, and the reason I started the other one is because a lot of men would come to me, well, I want to be part of your brand. Like, how am I going to get involved, right? I want to get involved. And I do have men involved by photography and collaborators, with other things, but they didn't get into the magazine part. So Biz and Fashion was generated 2 years ago, and that's where we got the men in. So we have men's styles. It's all about business, entrepreneurship, digital apps, really good, crucial tips as an entrepreneur, because you have so many hats as an entrepreneur to tackle and survive in these days, right? So,
for sure.
And then we intertwine it with the fashion, which is the fun part. So we deal with a lot of models, photographers, columnists, so many great advertisers. We have a lot in there. So, and it's actually grown to 10K subscribers.
Oh, awesome. So congratulations.
It keeps on growing. Yes.
That's amazing. So what made you get into the world of starting not one, but two magazines? Why did you decide to start magazines?
Actually, it came at a good time because of COVID. It started in January, and then COVID hit in March. So it was kind of a calling to say, okay, something's coming up. That's why you always have to go with your gut.
Yeah.
And go for it, because if I didn't go for it at that time, I would probably be stuck like 2 years not knowing what to do, right? So I had so many beautiful photography done from my fashion shows and from the clothing and so on. So it just made sense to get it all together, admire the photographers and models and the makeup artists, because they're a crucial key to my team.
Right.
And get it into a magazine, and also help entrepreneurs with great topics of what normal entrepreneurs go through. So it was a really great tool for me to survive the 2 years that we're going into with the COVID pandemic.
Right. Now, are they both digital, or are they print as well as digital?
They're both. They're both print. They're paid print. Like the Empowered in Heels, we supply that to the shelters. So we actually donate those to the shelters that we go to. And the Biz and Fashion is paid print. So everyone would pay their own print. And there's a digital component to it that they get a free preview. And it's a download of $10 to get the digital part to it. And it goes strictly to the shelters. So, and that way we still give back to the shelters.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, in addition to all of these things, you're also an event producer. Can you tell us a bit about that and what you do, your job as an event producer?
Yes. So what we do is we organize events at different locations. So we were part of the diversity fashion show for the City Hall. So therefore we would have different designers, and one of my collections were showcased there. So we would organize the models, the makeup artists, the photographers, everything that is dealt with the fashion show aspect to it. And then a lot of other charity events would be like Woodbridge Cruisers, in which is an annual event that we would do a fashion show there, just to bring the light of our fashion show is not just a normal fashion show. It actually shows the cycle of abuse. So we start off with the black of abuse, the trauma, and then we go into the red, which is the cycle that evolves with abuse, and then we go into the color components, which it diverses to so many other components as to how it affects the children and how it affects our lives, and how it just follows us as a point that we need to find a breaking point and find ourselves to stop that pattern. And then at the end we show the tunnel of light. So you'll see a lot of white dresses. I actually designed a dress with lights. So it's really impactful fashion show, and it's been doing really well. But with COVID, we've been on halts and all that.
Yeah, makes it very difficult. I'm sure you're just itching to get back out there and put on the shows again.
Yeah, and that's why it's really crucial as an entrepreneur to have different jump starts of your business. So not to only focus in one area, because you never know what life brings you.
Yes, so very true.
If you have somewhere you can fall on, that is amazing. So because I couldn't continue with the fashion shows, I had the magazine to keep me going through and flowing through. And because my clothing line has a lot of gowns, TIFF, and all the big galas were canceled, so no one was buying gowns. I had to incorporate loungewear and be diverse in adding in things that will cause you traffic. One of my advices as an entrepreneur. For
sure. Well, that's very sound advice, 100%. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, right?
It's very important to do that. Yeah.
Now, it would seem that your businesses are very women's empowerment focused, wanting to elevate and amplify women. Why is this movement or initiative so personally important to you and such a heavy focus of your businesses?
Actually, it's such a crucial thing for me because I was in the financial industry. And at that time, well, even in the science, when I studied science at Seneca, there was only 6 girls in our class.
Right.
And this is the biochemical technology area. And it was like such an impactful thing. Like I'm here, like, where are all the other women? Why are they not applying for biology and chemistry and wanting to be scientists and all that? So that was my opening part. And then when I got into finances, I noticed that, I'm sorry to say, I know you're a male, but
that's okay.
Women would do so much at work and they would stay longer. And then the males would leave right at 4 o'clock.
Right.
So, they did their work and then they were paid more. So it really was something that really opened and jarred me as to how I can make a difference and promote like women loving themselves and giving them their role, because a lot of them are intimidated to go to the boss and ask for a raise, or intimidated to say, oh, I have to leave now. I have to go pick up my kids. So that was a really impactful moment for me to empower other women and bring their voices to their voice, because they deserve it. And then what can the boss say? No.
Yeah,
and then
very
what you
true.
do is just leave, right?
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, so often women get defined by their roles as a mother or as a wife or as their job, and that needs to change. It's ridiculous that women get defined like that, in that way, and unfair treatment or not the same treatment as their male counterparts that are doing the same thing.
It's so true. Yeah. I witnessed it. I was there.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm going to make a difference. And every time I do some type of show or podcast or anything that I'm there, I always bring it up, because it needs to be brought up so it can change.
For sure. Absolutely. The more we talk about it, the more it gets out there and the more opportunities there are to change it and shift the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the landscape of entrepreneurship and women-run businesses? Are you seeing a shift in terms of more women making the jump to entrepreneurship? And if so, why do you think that is?
Yes, of course. When I started as a part-time. I was on mat leave. And at that time, there was no funding. They would look at you funny if you went to the bank to see if you can apply for, some kind of educational component to it.
Right.
Today, there's so much there for women entrepreneurs. So if you are a woman listening today and you really want to take that jump, go for it, because there's a lot of opportunities there. And you're not stuck at a 9-to-5, which you can actually control more of your lives. You can always start part-time. I'm not saying don't leave it full if you need that income.
Yeah.
But think through ways that you can start something small and then grow upon that. Because right now it's phenomenal for women. Absolutely. And even for men right now, for entrepreneurs.
Yep, very true. Suzy, what do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
I think my confidence. I am shy, mind you. I do have a little bit of timidness in me, because my parents are European and they always said, oh, you have to be careful what you say. You got to be prim and proper. But I've gotten through that. And I truly think you have to say what you want to say. And you have to say it in a nice way. You don't have to be vulgar with it, or, you have to be professional and educated about that. And get away from that timidness and that protocol that we're women, we need to be prim and proper.
Yeah.
And yes, right? But you can do it in a tactful way.
Yes.
That if you want to get something done or see something upon you that will be successful, you have to take that step. For
sure. Speaking of success, how do you define the word success? What does that word mean to you?
Success for me is to be passionate and love what you do. At first, I really was, because everyone looks for the money.
Yes.
When you're an entrepreneur, you want to make, $1 million is your goal. But you know what? Because I worked in the finance, the money there, and I was always so stressed that actually I lost a lot of my years because of that stress. I wouldn't want to go back. I think for me, love your life and be able to enjoy it and do it with a passionate heart. Get that reward of doing something different and giving back.
Yeah.
That is success for me.
To date, what would you say is your biggest high or your greatest win?
My biggest high is when I received the award for the leader of empowerment for the fashionista, empowering other women in confidence. I think that is my reward, that I would say that getting people to say, wow, she made a difference in my life.
Yeah. Having that kind of impact is incredible, for sure.
It is. And I want my brand, I don't want to be just a brand. I want to leave a legacy. So let's say one day today, hopefully it never happens, but if I do leave, at least you can remember, wow, she was such an powerful woman figure that I can do it. So why can I not do it, right?
Yeah. What would you say is one of the best pieces of advice you've ever received?
Never stop. So if you have a dream, don't stop dreaming and focus on your goal. Because there was, as I mentioned, my parents, they didn't like the designing part.
Yeah.
If I would have stopped, I wouldn't have followed my dreams. I wouldn't be doing what I was doing today.
Okay. What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before learning it? And what was your life like after learning it?
Dealing with stress. I was really stressful with work. As I mentioned, I kind of went shopping to deal with stress. And today I would say I take that breath and I look at it and master as to looking at it as a positive. So I don't drown upon it like I used to and fender in it. I find a solution and find a way to conquer it.
Awesome. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self?
By breathing and looking at myself and saying, I can do it. I can do this. I got this.
What is one of your favorite quotes?
Just do it. From Nike. Just do it. Just do it.
Do it.
And I tell my kids, just do it. Go for it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that instilling these values like that in our kids from a young age is integral. It's so important because you want your kids growing up that and feeling and knowing that they can do anything they want in life and they can accomplish it. They just have to put in the work, put their head down and get it done. That's
right. I have a great example, one actually. I guess he's seen me with my entrepreneurship, that he graduated as a personal trainer. And he's actually opened his own little gym at home, and he has like clients that he works with. So he has that mental state, I guess, from what you just mentioned.
Yeah.
You're setting that example for them, and they find ways to accomplish their dreams. And he loves it. He doesn't want to work for anyone else because he wants to work for himself.
That's so inspiring. That's great. What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Loving yourself, honestly. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone else. So that's your empowerment piece. Empower yourself.
What would you say is one of your biggest failures or life lessons, and what did you learn from it?
I'm such a trusting person. I trust everyone. And there was a time in my life that someone approached me to do a joint business venture. And sometimes I'm very naive because, I'm good-hearted. And when I do things, I do it with my heart without bad intentions. So I learned that was my real pivoting learning point. And I made me stronger. I lost everything. She wanted to take over business, boutique together, and it was doing well. I won't open a boutique ever again because of the overhead costs. She didn't want to continue with what we wanted to do with the vision of helping the women's shelters. And she wanted to change it all around. So those are things that I did mention at the beginning, that this is what my goals are. We did write everything down in our contract, our partnership and everything. But my biggest lesson was, because I was so busy on the merchandise and the designing part and getting the brand going in the boutique, I forgot to sign the lease. And I trusted her to sign the lease, and she signed it under her personal name. And we were paying under the SuzyQJewels brand.
Okay.
So that was my biggest learning point, and she shut me out of there, and she had the right to. Wow. So this is a learning part for everyone. And always sign your name on that lease.
Yeah.
Do not trust because I learned the hard way. So I started with 0. And then if I look at myself today, I can give myself a pat in the back and say, wow, I've done so much more than get stuck on a boutique. So you learn from your mistakes.
That's right. As long as you keep getting up when you fall, then it's okay. You just got to keep trying, keep going.
Yeah, it was one of my falling parts. It took me at least a year to start and say, okay, you know what? I need some time. What am I going to do with my life? I left my full-time job with my finance, and then I was thinking a boutique was going to be everything. We were going to do workshops. We were going to do everything. And then from there, 0. So it was a crashing point in my life, but it all ended up well, thank God.
There you go. Okay, we're going to do a little rapid fire section here. So the next bunch of questions will just be 1, 2, 3 word answer type thing, okay?
Okay.
If you were writing your autobiography, what would the title be?
My jewelry box.
I love it. What's the first thing you think when I say the word future?
Kids, our children, how we can mentor them and shape them to be better people in loving life.
Brilliant. What's one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Health. We only get one shot in life, and health is crucial. Even with this pandemic, we had so many people with money and they still got COVID. So this is a good life lesson tool. We can have all the riches in the world, but at the end of the day, no one can give you that health or that extra love that you really need as a family or care, right?
Yeah. If you had a theme song that played every time you walked in a room, what song would it be?
This Girl's on Fire. Alicia Keys.
Yeah. Entrepreneur life is?
Loving your life, honestly, getting up with a purpose and saying, wow, I love my life.
If I had an extra hour a day, I would
probably take a bath every day. Like a long bath to stay in there.
Yeah. Mom life is?
Very chaotic. You have multiple hats, like you're a teacher, you're a trainer, you're an entrepreneur, you're a doctor, you're everything. So just take it as best as you can. We're not perfect, and every child is different. So just go with the flow.
The last book or podcast I listened to or read was?
Empower Yourself.
My favorite way to unwind is?
Listening to music and having a glass of wine.
There you go. If you could change one thing about the world, what would you change?
That we become more empathetic to others. We're so judgmental, especially as women. Sometimes we're more judgmental than men. Men, just see things and they let things go, right?
Yeah.
Women are really heart-centered, right? And sometimes we're so judgmental, or we criticize, or we come because she doesn't have the latest designer bag, she is no one, and that's not right. I think that she's actually smart because she doesn't have the designer bag. She'd rather put that money somewhere else. I think that is key, to be more empathetic. And you don't know, everyone has a story, and you don't know their story, right? So
Very
if
true.
you can bring a smile or smile at someone and change their life that moment, that is more impactful.
All right. That ends the rapid fire section. What is the most recent investment you've made in yourself, Suzy?
I would say it was time for me. So now I have taken some courses to develop more of my inner core, and finding ways that I don't get so sentimental in hearing stories from because I deal with a lot of shelters and a lot of trauma from women.
Right.
And that sometimes builds on you. And if you really care of what you do, it can take a ton on you. So putting some aside for me and learning how to cope and how to set those boundaries.
Okay. What do you feel most grateful for in your life?
I would say everything. My kids are amazing. I'm so grateful for them. And just to live the life I do today and making a difference in someone's life.
What is your personal motto?
Never stop. So when you think you can't, you can.
Beautiful. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
To truly live your life and love yourself. We're so critical as young women itself that we're not beautiful, or we're so tough on ourselves. If I could go back in time and say, Suzy, you were wonderful. You could do anything you want to, and you have it all. That would be me.
And lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like?
It would say, women can do anything. So if you put your mind to anything you want to do in life, you can accomplish it. Just focus and continue onwards. If someone shuts a door, try another technique and try again. You never know, that knock on that door or that call that you make changes your life in an instant.
Suzy,
or someone else's life.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Suzy, for taking the time to be here today and share your story and your journey with us. You are a true inspiration. All the hats you wear, you are just incredible, absolutely incredible, and so inspiring. I appreciate everything that you're doing, and I appreciate you taking the time and now being part of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for doing what you do, Brad. It's honestly an honor to just come across such an empowering manpower figure, empowering other women with what you do. So I'm truly honored.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Suzy Tamasy. She is the owner and founder of SuzyQJewels, based right here in Toronto. Thanks again, Suzy. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day.
Have a blessed day, and looking forward to doing more with you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.